Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much to our viewers for joining us here this evening for episode 5, season 4, the grand finale of our ScotiaLIVE webinar series. My name is Talia Soares, attorney at law, media personality, and I will be your moderator for our session. Now, we are about to speak about a very exciting topic, how to make your credit card work for you. And when you hear the words credit card, what comes to mind? I mean, possibly, convenience, accessible cash, a shopping spree, some travel rewards, paying your monthly payments, going out and eating. I don't know, maybe all of the above. And some persons possibly, just use your credit card for, your monthly expenses, paying your gas bill, your electricity bill, that kind of thing. But there is a credit card that is for everyone. Whether it is that you love to backpack, whether it is that you really just want to pay those monthly expenses, or you want some, special rewards, some cashback rewards as well. There's something very special for you. But what is also important is that managing your credit card is always about, being smart, being responsible, and knowing how the credit card works. So we did say that this is the 411 edition. We'll be talking about everything credit card. This is the cheat sheet edition, I should say. So everything credit card, the tips, the hints, and ways that we can let this sometimes misunderstood product work best for you. Now, here with me this evening, ladies and gentlemen, I have Ricardo Bennett. He's the branch manager for Scotiabank UA. And I also have Shae Powell. She's no stranger to many of you who are quite active on Instagram. Travel blogger, Aero MasterCard holder, or I should say Aero MasterCard lover. And they'll be talking to us a little bit later on, about all the fantastic features of having a Scotiabank MasterCard. Of course, please join us on Zoom as well and on Instagram at Scotiabank Jam. And, send any questions because we look forward to hearing from you and answering all those questions and concerns that you have. Now, why is it so important to get a credit card now? We touched on the convenience. What about the special offers and the rewards and the promotions that we have going on? I know today, I think we drew some giveaway. Yes, we drew winners for the recent Win Your Share of $13 million. That's actually insane, Scotia. I don't know how I didn't get any of that, but all right, we're going to move on. We also just offered tickets to persons to watch the World Champs in Oregon as well. Yes, Sherika Jackson and the entire team Jamaica who did exceptionally well. And we are also gearing up to give away an all-expense-paid trip to watch the World Cup in Qatar in December 2022. So now is actually the ideal time to get a credit card, right? We have trips giving away, we have money giving away, we have rewards giving away for you to do whatever you want to do with it, right? Using your Scotia MasterCard. So I mentioned the convenience, access to our evolving line of credit, and of course, paying down today. Now, Ricardo, let's start here. Convenience, accessibility, and making your money work right here at Scotiabank. Talk to us about the importance of having your Scotiabank credit card, and why is it so important to do it now?
I mean, it is very important to have a credit card now. You have the convenience. Gone are the days where you'll be walking around with all this cash.
Yeah.
You can just go in, pop out your credit card and do your transactions. There's no need to go to the bank. There's no need to go to the ATM to do any withdrawals with regards to getting cash.
Yes, instant payment right away.
Definitely.
Now, I know that you're actually introducing a new product, Scotia Select Pay. Let us start here as well. Tell us all about Select Pay. What is it exactly?
Okay, so Select Pay is the ability to break up your bigger purchases into more manageable installments. So it is very convenient. You find that sometimes you may do a transaction, whether it's planned or unplanned, and with these transactions, you may not have the funds to clear it same time.
Immediately.
Scotia, we recognize that, and we make it easy as possible for our customers. So what we do, we can break up those monthly payments in 3 months, 6, 9, up to 12 months. With extending the period of payment, the monthly payment will definitely be lower, and we also lower the interest rate. And guess what? Your rewards will still be there.
Rewards.
I love that.
Shae said she loved that because Shae knows that she uses her rewards,
Rewards.
you know, right? In more ways than one. But we're going to actually
Absolutely.
jump on the rewards soon because in addition to your 3, your 6, your 9, or your 12 months, all I have to do is go on the app. I just, you know, go to either on the web as well, and I can just decide if I'm going to do the payment, just do it, just select there.
Yes.
And it's as simple as that.
It's very simple. What our online banking platform, it's very user friendly.
Yes,
So once you
I
go
love it,
on,
actually.
Yeah.
it's excellent. So once you go on, it's really simple. It's really easy. You go in, you select pay, you choose a transaction that you want to convert, and voila.
And in terms of the amount,
Yes.
what is the minimum amount that I can use Select Pay for?
So the minimum amount is equivalent of 250 USD.
Okay, so
Yeah, so that's about
250.
50,000 thereabout.
Okay, so 250 USD or 50,000 Jamaican dollars, whichever currency
Based
you're
on the
using,
rate, yes.
right? And based on the rate, that is the minimum that I can use Select Pay for.
Correct.
And then anything above that, I'm free to go.
Yes, you
Okay.
are.
Okay, all right. That's interesting. Now, let's talk about rewards because I know that we have Scotia rewards coming soon. We touched on it a while ago. You know, how Shae got really excited about that. You know, so tell me about the Scotia rewards that's coming soon.
Okay, so there's a Scotia Rewards app that is coming soon, not quite here as yet. With the Rewards app, now, when you go on, if you need to redeem any points in terms of traveling, you need to get in contact with the Aero Platinum team or go through our call center. So with the new Scotia Rewards app, customers with travel points, they'll get direct access in redeeming those rewards.
Okay.
So they'll go directly to the app and would be able to book tickets
Right.
and so forth.
Straight, because I know, Shae, when you tried to redeem your points, you had to make a call, didn't you?
You have to just submit the request online.
Okay.
And the agent gets back to you. So
Okay.
this sounds even
So
more.
imagine,
It's
yeah,
more even
convenient.
convenient.
Imagine doing it by
Right.
yourself, like 1, 2, 3.
I just keep booking tickets after tickets because it's so easy.
So all you have to do is just download the app and voila.
And
Yes.
voila, exactly.
I don't have to send an
exactly.
email anymore. I don't even have to speak to anybody. I got my points. I got the accessibility.
Ready
I'm
to
good
fly.
go. Ready to fly.
So
Now,
coming soon.
Coming soon. So something to look out for from Scotia. Now, talk to me now about the top things to know about your credit card.
Okay, so with regards to the credit card, once we're talking about the credit card, there are some things that you definitely need to know. Now, these are the foundations of the credit card before we delve into managing the credit card.
Okay.
So it's a short-term loan. It's due every 30 days.
Every 30 days.
Correct.
Okay.
When it's due on that 30 day, you need to ensure that you pay the full statement balance. This is the 411. This is a cheat sheet. I'm letting you guys know
Yes.
how you can avoid that interest. So on that 30th day, you need to pay the full statement balance. It also assists with building your credit. There's a credit score, which we will get into more details later on in the discussion. But once you pay your card on time, that also assists with building your credit.
Right.
It also helps you with budget management. A statement is generated monthly, and with that statement, you can review. I'm sure you review your
Yes.
All the time, all the
statements
time.
when you're overseas.
All the time.
It's also safer and more convenient
Right.
where you don't have to be going around with all this cash. You can pop out the credit card and run the credit card. And another key thing to note is just to ensure that your information is kept private.
Private. But in terms of managing the credit card and the payment and checking your bill monthly, it helps you to manage your budget as well, which is also very important.
That's
That's
true.
something that you have to consider because sometimes people think that when you get a credit card, you know, it's just cash. It's just money. You got a lot of money to spend.
Right.
Ricardo, that's not always the case.
No,
And
that's
we have
not
to
the
manage the
case.
payment and we have to manage
Definitely.
the credit card. Now, in terms of managing the credit card now, how do we do that?
Okay, so with this section, you're going to hear me talk about knowledge a lot because a great way to manage the credit card is knowing your numbers and also knowing the different fees that is attracted on the credit card.
Yes.
So with the credit card, you have the statement date. Now, this is the date that the credit card is due, so it's key to know that date.
Okay.
There is also the due date. That's the date when the credit card is also due. There is a minimum balance. This is the total amount that you would have to pay on the card. That's a minimum amount, which is 5% of the statement balance. and then there's a total amount due, which is the overall balance that you have to pay by the due date.
Okay. And I know that you encourage payment of the full amount just so that you don't, incur any additional fees and costs and that kind of thing, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And with managing your credit card also, you want to ensure that you're reviewing your statements. I had cases in the past where when I used my credit card, a lot of the transactions, it was doubled up, Shae.
Right.
So when I review the statement, I usually scrutinize it. And it's awesome also because if you have any fraud transaction or any transaction that you did not authorize, then it would be popping up right here on the statement.
On the statement as well. So everything is actually outlined on your monthly statement. So whether or not you did make the transaction, you can actually know just by scrutinizing the bill and just reviewing it and just going through the transactions thoroughly.
Yes.
Okay, and then the potential fees now, I know you have some potential fees that you might have to look out for.
So with the fees, it's important that you know what the fees are so that way you can maneuver around the fees. So the first one that we want to talk about is actually the interest fee that is charged on the card if you only pay the minimum amount. So you want to ensure that when you use your credit card, you're actually paying off the full statement balance. That way you avoid paying the interest charge. There's also the late fee, where if you pay after the due date, then that late fee will be charged to the card.
Well. Right. Okay.
There's an annual fee also, Shae, which I know you know about, based on your favorite card. So the annual fee, it's on the same day of every month, every year. So it's good to know when that will be popping up.
Expect it.
So you can budget.
Yes, you can budget
for it.
Extra X amount of money, you're saying, but what is it? What is this?
You're not surprised,
You kind of expect it.
Correct. And lastly, we have the over limit fee. So based on your limit, if you're close to your limit, you want to ensure that you're aware of where you are because you don't want to be purchasing when you're right at your limit and it would push the balance over the limit.
Okay.
That would also attract a fee.
Attract a fee as well, and we don't want that. So that's why it's so important to check your app, to check your account. I mean, not regularly. Just to kind of manage your credit card overall.
Yes.
All right. No, I think we have a few questions coming in. So let me see which question we have first. How do I apply for a credit card, Ricardo? Let me give this one to you. How do I apply for a credit card?
I mean, applying for a credit card is a simple process. You can start the process online, but in order to complete the transaction, you would definitely have to visit the nearest branch and speak with a personal banking officer. The requirements would include the basics such as your ID, the regular KYC information, your ID, proof of address, proof of employment. I don't really want to go too much in details, but what we want you to do is actually to just reach out to your banker because we make it as easy and as convenient as possible for you. But you can start the process online. Just head over to our website and apply for a credit card. And then to complete the process is just a come-in branch.
Okay.
Simple.
And I'm sure you have everything listed there on the website.
Yes,
that you probably need to even walk with when you're going in branch.
Yes.
As well.
Correct.
Perfect.
How is your credit score calculated? Because we're actually going to touch on building your credit and credit history and that kind of thing. But how is your credit score calculated?
Well, the credit score, I wanted to use an example, Talia. So you're fresh out of high school.
Yeah, man. I'm fresh out of, college?
Yes.
College.
Out of college, yes, not high school.
Not high school. Fresh out of college.
Fresh college. You just start working.
Yes.
You get your first credit card. You have been paying it well for the last 24 months, 2 years. 2 years pass, you come in to actually apply for a car loan. Remember, you just have the credit card.
Yeah, man, because as you know, when you're done, when you're in college or start college or just finish and you just get a little work, one of the first things, for know, you're kind of making it in life and you want to purchase your first car. Right? So this is a perfect example. I'm sure many persons can relate to it. So yes, have my credit card, paying it well. I come in now because I want a car loan.
A car loan. So when you approach us, Scotiabank, we look at your profile. We would need to pull your credit report.
Okay.
Upon pulling your credit report, we would say, okay, Talia only has a credit card, but this credit card has been paid well. The last 24 months, no mispayments. Okay, here what? We're giving her the car loan, and along with giving her the car loan, we're lowering the interest rate.
Wow.
We're giving her a special interest rate.
Yes.
We're extending the term. And we may look at throwing in another sweetener.
Okay.
And the reason for this is based on your credit.
And my credit history.
And your credit history and your credit score.
Okay.
And how you build your credit score is when you have a credit facility and you pay it well, it would automatically lead to you building up your credit score.
Credit. It also shows that you guys can trust me, that I'm reliable.
Definitely.
And that you guys can trust me to lend me the money and I will pay it back and pay it back on time.
On time.
Because now you have a proven track record.
Yes,
So, yeah.
yes. So these are things that you do look at for something. I mean, and we don't even touch on mortgage yet or trying to purchase a home. We're talking about just a car loan right now.
Yeah, just to sum it up, we've been hearing a lot of noise, even just coming up, just growing up. I've been hearing that credit cards, they're really bad. It's not good. It affects your credit.
Right.
But it's actually the opposite.
Okay.
And just maturing at Scotiabank, I realized that it's actually the opposite because your credit score, just by utilizing the credit card,
And
it can help you
properly.
and managing it properly. It can help you to get additional facilities and also improve your net worth.
Wow, that's interesting because you know, a lot of persons when you hear the word debt, as in DEBT, you always think that it's bad debt. But it doesn't necessarily have to be bad debt because if you do manage your credit card properly, you can have good debt as well.
Right.
Now, I think I have another question coming in.
We do.
Is it wise for a person over 60 years old to take out a credit card?
Well, once that person is able to actually service the credit card, and they would have some form of income because we have certain requirements that you definitely have to meet.
Yeah.
But if somebody is 60 and
Why
they apply for a credit card, they should get the benefit. Exactly.
Right.
So yes, definitely, that's fine. 60, 65, 70.
Yeah.
If they want to cash in on their cards, they can get
Just
rewards as well.
They might want to use some of those rewards to go to a hotel, to book a trip to somewhere they've never been before, to rent a car. You know, but I'm sure the age is just a number, and you guys will still provide all the excellent rewards to them, just as you would to anyone else.
Correct.
All right, so we were just talking about it before that question, the credit history and building your credit history. Now, managing your credit card can actually help you to build wealth and to actually help to build your credit card history, right? Ricardo, let's touch on that now. Let's talk about that. How can we improve our credit score by just having a Scotiabank MasterCard?
With the credit card, it's similar to what I just said. It's just making the payments timely.
Right.
So whether you're paying off the full statement balance or you're paying the minimum amount, once you're making those payments every month consistently, that is definitely contributing to your credit score.
Yeah.
And what this does, it demonstrates to future lenders that you are financially responsible, and also it allows you to access additional credit at reduced rates to build your asset base. For example, if you were to come in and do a mortgage, or a car loan.
Because you still would have to pull your credit score as well to see whether or not you're able, your credit report, to see whether or not you're even able or if you qualify for the mortgage, any at all. Okay, all right. Now, in addition to managing the card and helping us to build up that credit score and, you know, helping us to have a great credit report, this card, having a MasterCard, any one of the MasterCards, it's all a matter of also convenience. You know, it's so convenient to have it. You don't have to be worrying about walking around with a lot of cash.
No.
You know, you don't have to worry about those things. So let's jump right into the convenience of the card. And I want to ask Shae about, you know, some of her convenient moments with her Aero card as well. So let's start with you, Ricardo.
Okay, so the convenience of credit cards, it's very convenient in terms of you make the payment on the spot. It's good in terms of emergency. It's great for traveling overseas, and it also keeps all your spending in one place and improve the ability to monitor more closely. Another thing that I actually want to touch on, if you receive the credit card here in Jamaica, you can use it worldwide.
Anywhere.
So you're not just limited to where you actually get the credit card. I also want to mention that you can pay in a pinch. even though we're stressing about clearing your full statement
Within the
balance
30 days.
within the
Yes.
30 days to avoid that interest, we're just saying in the event that you need to just make that minimum balance, that option is there.
As
and
well.
that also contributes to the positive credit
Okay.
score.
Okay, and I know you guys have your select pay as well.
Yes.
So
Right.
that's
It's
another
just about,
option as well.
yeah,
But
convenient.
Convenient, so convenient. Shae, let me ask you, because you're the era lover. I'm also
I
an
am.
era lover. But the era lover now, and Ricardo said that, guess what? I can use my card anywhere in the world.
Right.
Where have you used, I don't know if I should ask you, where have you used the card, or where have you not
not-
been able to
Yeah.
use the card? So where have you not been able to use the card, Shae?
Can't answer because I've been able to use it everywhere.
You've been able to use it
Right,
everywhere.
right. It's so funny because I just did a trip over to Saudi Arabia, and when I arrived there, I had to pay for a visa on arrival. And I wasn't worried at all because, I mean, it was only card that was accepted, no cash. I was like, okay, not worried. I have my air card. I just pulled it out, and I paid for that visa on arrival. So the fact that I can travel halfway around the world.
And you don't have to worry about
And I don't have to
anything.
worry about that at all. It's just remarkable. Love it.
Remarkably indeed. Ricardo, how about choosing the right card that's for you? Because we did mention that, you know, you have a credit card that's for beginners. You have the credit card that's for the individual who is simply just interested, you know, in just paying your bills and having one statement. Because what is also important is you can actually track your spending and manage your budget, your monthly budget, if you are paying everything from one place. So you have those persons who you have your credit card and really and truly is not really to splurge, or, you know, just in case of an emergency, probably I have the card as well, but I really just want to pay all my bills one place. And then you have the person who is always backpacking, the person who's always on the go, the person who's always booking a flight, you know, needing to rent a car, going somewhere new. So how do I then choose the card that's right for me? Tell us about the options that you have, Ricardo.
All right, so the different cards that we have, and I mean choosing the card that is right for you, it would be dependent on your lifestyle.
Yes.
But we have an entry-level card, which is the MasterCard Standard. This is usually for persons who, they're on a budget, don't want to be paying too much towards the annual fee or so forth. These persons who want the card is strictly for convenience, and they don't really desire rewards.
Okay.
There's also the MasterCard Gold. It offers cashback, and it's for persons who shop a lot with a desire for rebate, in most cases cashback.
Okay.
And then we have the Travel Rewards card, which I won't go into much detail
Yes,
because that's
Shae, I feel like Shae is going to share her testimony
but
with us.
It's for it's actually for frequent flyers, professionals, entertainers, etc.
Okay.
And I mean, it says frequent flyer, but I have an Aero Platinum card. That's my main card.
Yes.
And I don't, well, sitting beside Shae, I don't
You wouldn't
consider
consider yourself
myself
a frequent flyer.
exactly. So I still use the card throughout the year, and then once a year I go visit my sister in Tampa, and
Okay.
it works out.
And it works out
And
for
you
you.
don't have to worry about spending anything because the card covers it.
Covers
It covers
everything.
everything. And even if, when you do, I mean, after you've bought your ticket, your airline ticket, and if you need to even rent a car, and maybe if you don't want to stay with her, you want to say, sis, let's go to Disney to go to a
Thank
hotel.
you.
Yeah.
Your Aero points can cover those
it.
rewards.
Correct.
Okay, all right. So let's jump into the rewards, or you know, that low fee that we have. Talk to me about the rewards, because you mentioned that for the entry level card, which is
The
for
MasterCard
standard,
yeah.
you probably won't have as much in terms of rewards, right? But what about the gold and the Aero in terms of the rewards and the cashback? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Okay, so with the MasterCard Gold, I can start there. So let me ask you, you pay for gas every month?
Yes.
Shae,
Well, I
you
mean,
pay
I
for
do.
we have to
groceries?
I
go on.
do.
Boy, these are the things that we need to survive.
Exactly. All right, so suppose I tell you that we reward you on you purchasing commodities that you need to survive.
Wow.
So there's 4% at the grocery stores, supermarkets, wholesale clubs, 4% at the gas station, there's 2% at the pharmacies, as well as the drugstore,
Okay.
and there's 1% online and everywhere else. And this is cashback. This is straight cashback. So it's an excellent card to help pay bills, purchase groceries, purchase gas. And the
Okay.
cashback is usually paid annually in November. So it's just in time for Christmas shopping.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So that's the cash back with the gold. And then we have the Aero rewards. But I don't know if I should have let you talk or should I let Shae talk? I don't know. Should I let
think
Shae
Shae
talk?
would have been better.
Shae is actually going to share her. Well, we're going to actually jump into, she loving her Aero soon. But we have lots of rewards. I know we have a Magna partnership as
There's
well.
also the
So before we
Magna.
jump into Aero, I want to talk about the Magna because we have to go hear Shae's testimony, with her Aero loving self.
That's true.
So tell me about the partnership with Magna.
All right, so the Magna, you can earn rewards with every purchase. You can spend like Jamaican 200 and you earn a Magna point. It allows you to get welcome bonus. Well, if you sign up for the card, you'd get a welcome bonus. And that's another thing that I wanted to segue in. At different times, you'll apply for cards. There's introductory rates, which is like 50% off. There's welcome bonus. There's no annual fee. So when applying for the card, always ensure that you do your research just to see what promotion is going on and what you can benefit from. So with the Magna card, you redeem points from your partners and the merchants. So I have customers that they really, really, really love the Magna card. And one of the reasons why they love the Magna card is double dipping.
Yeah.
So with double dipping, you have your regular Scotia Magna card,
Right.
and then you have the loyalty Magna card.
Okay.
So when you go to the Magna merchants and do purchases there, you're doubling up on your points.
So I basically get 2 rewards from 2 different places.
Well, yes.
Or 2 different
yes,
cards.
use
So
2 different cards.
2 different places is one place, but it's really just 2 different cards. I get
Places, so you're
rewards on this
doubling
card,
up.
and so that's why you call it double dipping.
So, Talia, when you get your check at the end of the quarter,
Yes.
it can't cash because it's so much.
It's so much.
Yeah.
But that's a good
That's a
one.
good
Yes.
problem to have, isn't it?
That's a really good problem. That's a problem that I don't want.
Yeah.
Actually want that problem. Right. One of those, I say, hey, I'll take on that problem.
I'll take it.
But what about the Scotiabank Visa A Advantage? Talk to me about that card.
So the Visa A Advantage, that's like the cousin to the Aero Platinum because it offers travel rewards also. You earn 1 mile for every USD spent. Here it is that you have a welcome bonus also. We're having a promotion now with a welcome bonus. You get 7,000 miles with your first purchase. And there's advantages to redeem the points, not just with one airline, but over 20.
Oh, wow.
So at the core, the A Advantage is about American Airlines. So if that is your preferred means of traveling, then we definitely recommend the card to you. And the miles can be used for hotel stays and also car rentals.
Okay.
So
in
that is the
addition
card.
to purchasing airline tickets, you can use it for other things when you are traveling.
Definitely.
To just kind of help you on the go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, as you actually mentioned that there is a card for everyone. And I know that some persons you might have or have different aspects to your lifestyle where it is that, of course, you need the necessities to survive. You pay your gas bill, monthly, you go to the supermarket, the pharmacy, that kind of thing. But you also love to travel, just like Shae right here.
Yes.
So some persons may even want more than one credit card, for different purposes, right? Right, Ricardo? That's okay as well, right?
Yeah, man, of course, for emergency purposes. I even had a customer, he actually had the funds, he had a medical issue, and he had the funds to actually do the operation. However, it was with investments.
Okay.
So usually take about 3 to 4 days to get the funds from investments. So what he did, he had an additional card. He just used the card, and by the time the funds came from
could just
investment,
replace
he could cover it. But he had 2 cards. He had a card for his day-to-day expenses.
Yes.
And then the second card was a just-in-case
Just
card.
in case emergency.
Okay.
Now, I know that we have a number of tips for persons, who want to save money, even though they're actually using and actively using their credit card. So let's start here. You're going to track your online spending.
Correct.
Because and tracking your online spending means either you're going to sign in on the app or you're going to sign in online, and you're going to check your statement and track how much it is that you are spending monthly.
Yes.
And actually, kind of keep a record and go through intricately to make sure, say, hey, I actually made this payment. You know what I mean? Like I actually,
That's what I do.
I have to do that, right? Another important thing, guys, is you should check your balance, right? So check your balance frequently as well to make sure that, hey, what you actually did spend, that's what's actually there as well, right?
Correct.
Now, you can pay as often as you wish, right, Ricardo?
Yes, definitely.
So if it is that I know that I made a little, you know, I go buy something and I get a little money, you know, I can just put it towards the credit card. So at the end of the month, I don't have this big statement looking at. I can actually pay as many times as I wish right throughout the month. That's also something, right?
Definitely. And it is convenient. I wanted to ask you, how do you pay on your credit card?
I use a Scotia app. It's so convenient, super easy. I do this every month, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah. And it's actually, it happens right away.
Right away.
Yeah,
so even when I'm not here in Jamaica, and I'm traveling, I can just, you know, log in and just make the payment.
Okay. And in terms of those big ticket items now, those big expenses, we should have a plan. So even though your credit limit might afford you to purchase these big ticket items, but you still have to consider how it is that you're going to pay it off after this 30-day period.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
That's something that's very, very important if it is that you do want to save money and you do want to kind of avoid some of those additional fees at the end of the month, whether it's over limit, whether it's late fee, you know, whether it's whether it's the interest rate. That's something that you also have to consider. And then the select pay that we spoke about earlier.
Yes.
Okay. But what about managing or spending, Ricardo? How do you manage your spending, Shae? I don't know if, you know, in terms of when you're traveling.
When I'm traveling, you know, I know it's a credit card, and we tend to, you know, kind of feel like, as Ricardo said, you know, feel like we want to spend, but I often stay within budget.
Okay.
All right? And I often use the online system as well to kind of like make sure that what I'm spending is actually what is charged on the card.
Okay.
So definitely those are like my top things that I do. And then once again, how I manage it, I make sure, rule of thumb, you know, if it's due on the 13th, I try to pay by the
payment
2 days before.
Yeah.
You know, so it's, you know, those are like my regular practices, and those are, you know, practices I would recommend as well.
Yes, I know when the statement is generated, when the payment is actually due, which, you know, will soon be probably afterwards, the statement is generated, and just keep track, you know.
Right.
Time you spend as well to get some extra time to get your purchases in. And when you're making those major spends, you know, have a plan. I know you touched on it not too long ago, Ricardo, about your client who had, you know, an emergency, had to do an emergency surgery, but he had the card there and he was able to make the payment. And then when he got the funds, he was able to pay it off, to pay it back.
Correct.
Do persons actually have a credit card just for emergencies sometimes?
Yeah, definitely. One of the cards that we have is the Visa Classic. It has no annual fee on it. So just having the card, it comes at no additional expense. It increases your purchasing power, and it's just there sitting should the need arise.
Okay. So that's also another option as well, just in case you want to have a Scotia credit card, you know, for any form of emergency. You know that life happens.
Right. Yes.
Life happens sometimes, and Scotia is making sure that, guess what, you're secure, you're safe, you're solid right here at Scotia. All right?
Okay.
So another thing that we also want to encourage you as well is to stay within budget. Due diligence, due diligence we have to practice, and I think Shae touched on it, right? Practicing due diligence, yes, knowing, so listen, the statement is being generated, right? Knowing, guess what, this is good, the 30 days is upon me. On day 28, I need to make a note. Checking the balance frequently and carefully, going through, staying within budget, and of course, avoiding those, what we should say, discretionary. This is a nice way to put it, you know, guys. Avoiding these discretionary spending habits, if it is that you do have these long-term goals. And discretionary spending means when you go to the supermarket for 2 or 3 items, and I mean literally those 2 or 3 items, and you come out with a trolley full, and a trolley full of snacks, so you don't need, is discretionary items. Ricardo, when you're going to the store to buy a 1 shirt because you're coming on our webinar series,
whole suit.
Right, you come in a whole suit. Discretionary spending, Shae. When you want to come and you say, you know, so I could do with some nice earrings and all those things, like, you know, the live series would look nice, you know. You come in now with a necklace, Shae, and we have important goals to achieve.
Right.
So this is what we're talking about, discretionary spending, guys. We have to monitor it and make sure that we stick within our budget and we actually watch Because I never know, say, it's so better mattress and household
plants,
things
plants.
expensive.
So
Yes,
expensive. Plants are so expensive.
Let me tell you. And I feel
I'm a plant
like,
mom.
I feel like when we have those big goals, you know, you want to move, you want to probably get a new car, you want to do something that's, you know, one of those big goals in life. We need to cut down on the discretionary spending so that we can afford to buy these lovely centerpieces that you see in front of us that are also expensive sometimes. All right, so guys, so those are some, you know, save money tips.
Definitely.
As it relates to your credit card and just managing your overall spending with your credit card. But what about safety and security? Because we are living in a time where so much is happening. It's a digital space. It's a digital world right now. And I mean, a lot of persons prefer to go cashless, but when we choose to go cashless, there's also, you know, that what if factor. And we also have to consider, oh my goodness, what if my information gets in the wrong hands? What if my card information, you know, goes somewhere that it's not supposed to go? So some of the things that we have to consider, let's start here, is not giving your card to anyone, not lending your card to anyone. And that's very important, especially if for some forsaken reason, you end up with some fraudulent activities on your card, right, Ricardo?
Yeah.
Not giving your card or lending your card to anyone.
No one at all. Security is a big thing. With the credit card, I believe that everyone that has a credit card, they have the responsibility to ensure that that card is safe. Regardless if someone is your family or your friend, you shouldn't be giving out your PIN number. That is personal to you.
Yeah.
Also with the card, if you're to go somewhere to make a purchase, you have to be very careful. You have to be mindful about who is seeing the card and how long they have the card for.
Okay.
Because a credit card, if they get the name, the account number on the front, the expiry date, as well as the CVV number on the back of the card, they can do a transaction without the physical card.
Without the physical card.
Yeah, so it is really important that you just be responsible with your card.
Yeah.
And you just be mindful. In the event, if you're online or doing some transaction over the phone and you find that you gave out private information, we're asking you to just go online, lock down the card, just turn it off, or reach out to our call center
immediately.
Immediately.
I know, as you touched on that, I know that another thing that we also have to consider is not walking around with too many credit cards. So, for example, you have was it the Visa Classic that you mentioned?
Yeah.
That is, I mean, there are no annual fees.
Yes.
Persons just have it as your just-in-case card. I mean, I don't need to walk around with that card every day, you know?
Yeah.
But I walk around with the one, probably I walk around with my gold every day, you know, because I know I need to buy some gas to put in the car. So you have to actually be mindful. So you don't walk around with too many of these, you know, MasterCards, because you don't know, it might slip out, you don't know, you know, anything can happen, but you're just protecting yourself.
Yes.
You also mentioned providing your information over the phone to any person who is not authorized to get that information. So don't give out your information, especially your credit card. That number at the back is very important. Your name, the entire number, the credit card number. Be very mindful as to who you're sharing that information with. And we also have to say immediately, and I mean immediately, report a lost or stolen card. If it is that you feel like you can't find the card, if it is that you feel like you misplaced it, not necessarily someone stole it from you, but as we say, life happens, then first thing that you do, either you sign into the app or you go online and you can just, at the click of a button, you can just shut down your card.
That's so convenient.
She was like, really?
You can do that. I find that so amazing.
So if something does happen, if you feel like, hey, I probably don't know where my credit card is right now, I don't see it for a few hours, I'm looking for it, I still can't find it. For your own safety and security, just log on to the app or log on the website, and at the touch of a button, you can just shut it down, you can stop it. Amazing. Another thing that is also actually very interesting is that, you know, when you call the call center, they're very responsive. I had a little situation recently, and I will tell you, all I did, I signed on to the app, I locked down the card. And as soon as I just at the touch of a button, and everything stopped.
Okay.
And then I called the call center, and they were very responsive, you know, and just trying to assist as best as possible to make sure that you are safe, your information is safe, and they try to thoroughly, you know, get through everything with you. What I should also tell you is that on the app and online, I can determine how I want my card to be used. So I literally can say, hey, I'm allowing online transactions. Or I don't want any online transactions on my card. I don't want any international transaction on my card. So, Shae, for you, for example, while you're in Jamaica, you can just turn it off.
Right.
Turn off that feature.
I'm not there, so I'm in Jamaica.
And you're not traveling.
Right.
And when you're ready to go again, you know you're jumping on the plane, you need to pay for your luggage or whatever the case is.
Right.
You can just turn it back on.
And all is well.
And all is well because you know that you'll be traveling. So I feel like I have total control of my credit card as a result, you know, of the facilities that Scotia has provided. I don't know if I'm the only one that feel that way. Shae, what about you?
I feel like that as well. I think that's so convenient. I think it works well. And as you said before, whenever I'm not traveling, I can turn it off. And when I'm traveling again, turn it back on.
Yeah.
Hassle-free. How convenient.
Yeah, credit card protection is very important at Scotia. And we know that there is actually no payment required if it is that, you know, after investigations, you realize that fraudulent activities did take place on your card. That's so, Ricardo?
That is so.
Okay.
So when you have a transaction that is not authorized by you on the card, once you do the dispute, we then block the card and mail out a new card.
Yeah.
We'd be investigating to ensure that that transaction was not anything of the sort or not done by you.
Right.
And then based on that, you wouldn't have to pay for that transaction.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Scotia is actually protecting you, protecting your funds, making sure that you are safe and secure indeed. And I know that you also have purchase protection, so just in case you purchase something, I know it gets damaged or stolen, then that covers it as well. Price protection. Yes, we do offer that as well for persons who are probably wondering, what is price protection? I have that in Jamaica. Yes, so you it pays you the difference if you see the item you bought on sale or for a lower price. So we have some price protection as well. Roadside assistance, which is very important, especially for the ladies who don't really know nothing about the vehicle. You can't change oil, much less tire, right? I know that I can really just refill my window washer fluid, and I'm proud to say that. For ladies like me, yes, this will come in handy for you. And of course, travel insurance.
Right.
Yes, travel insurance and rental car insurance.
Definitely. So whenever you're traveling, you can always use these points, you know, abroad to rent a car, which is, you know, very convenient. And the fact that you can use points to do this is just amazing.
All right. Now, I know we have some questions bubbling. My viewers are asking, should full payment be done by statement date or due date to avoid interest? Ricardo, I think you touched on that, which is should full payment be done?
It would be it's by the due date.
Okay.
So what you want to do, the statement date, that is when the actual statement is generated. So you usually have about 10 days after that to pay. So the due date is after the statement is generated. So you want to be paying that in full.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Another question. How does one increase their credit limit?
Boy, all the questions. I mean, from time to time, we have promotions where once they're paying the credit card well, we automatically increase.
You automatically?
Yeah,
I
it is
think that
increased
actually
automatically.
happened to me. That actually happened to me with my credit card because I started out, I was offered, I think, whether I wanted the gold or the euro. And because I was paying my credit card well, you know, I actually got the euro first, and then I was paying it well, and then they offered the gold. And this happened. Nobody didn't even call me, you know. Like, I think that the Scotia website is so up to date, up to par, the app as well.
Yes.
I just got a pop-up. Hey, you qualify for this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I know I can get like some cash back for my gas at my supermarket and that kind of thing. And then I realized that my limit actually, you know, it actually increased. And that was because I was paying my bill on time. And I was, you know, I never really accrue no interest on them things. So, you know. All right. So that's all?
Yeah, so that was just one way. That is the automatic increase that we do from time to time. But you can also come in and initiate that process. You just need to come in branch, bring in the necessary requirements. So just reach out to a personal banking officer or a premium relationship officer, and we will definitely guide you
along the way. All right, I have another question coming in. How can a credit card be turned off when not in use?
Oh, you can.
Oh, no. All right.
I mean, Talia, you just told us that you can go online and kind of like toggle it in 2 seconds, in one click, and you're good, you know? So the fact that you can do that, I feel like it's very convenient. So when you're not using your card, or when you wish not to use your card, you can just go ahead and do that. And
It's as simple as that. All
As
you have
simple
to
as
do,
that.
once you go in your settings, and if it is that you can't find it or you have some difficulty finding it, but I should say that Scotia's website and Scotia's app is so easy to use. Like it's so user friendly. It's unbelievable. Like it is really unbelievable how easy it is to just use it.
Right.
You don't have to want and say, but where will this take me? No, you know exactly where you're gonna go. You really do. Do I have any more questions right now? Okay. Please explain Select Pay or how to redeem points on my credit card. So let's start with Select Pay. How does that work? You mentioned the 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, or 12 months, if it is that I'm going to make a big payment, right? So is it that I select pay before I pay? So I go on and select pay before I pay, or during?
No, you'd have to actually do the transaction first.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, you go somewhere, you make the purchase. It's over the 250 US, which is the minimum amount to enroll in Select Pay. So once that is done, it's usually about 2 to 3 days that it pops up on the card.
Okay.
At that point, you would go and select the transaction and select Pay.
Okay, so after I've done the transaction,
Yes.
then I can just either go into the app,
Or
go into the app, and then it will pop up as an option, and I can just select pay and select the time,
The transaction.
the transaction. So select the transaction and select the length of time that I want. Select pay for whether it is the 3 months, the 6 months, the 9 months,
or
the 12. And then to redeem my points now, I know that you're coming with your new Redeem Points app. It's not here yet, so don't worry about it. But as it is right now, all I have to do is what? Call?
That's for the arrow.
Or,
Yes.
or send an email.
You just have
If
to
I want
call
to
to
redeem the
redeem. You
points.
just have to, pretty much you submit the request online.
Okay.
So whatever destination that you're thinking of going, you submit it online and an
Where
agent just get back
online?
to you.
So is it
So it's a
through-
Scotiabank Aero Rewards website.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's where I go. So it's the
Right.
Scotiabank Aero Rewards
Rewards
website. And once I go on the website, then I can put in where I want to go.
Right. So, for
Okay.
example, if you're thinking about going to, say, for example, Panama, from Kingston to Panama, you put in the destinations, you submit the request, and an agent gets back to you, and they just provide you with the details.
Oh, wow.
Easy.
So, I mean, I think it's only fitting and perfect right now to jump into why Shae, why Ricardo we love our Aero card.
Right.
You know, and we're, a lot of persons are Aero lovers, you Shae to be exact, because you travel
am.
the world. And you just mentioned, the Aero Rewards website where you just can go in, log in, tell them where you're going, use your rewards, redeem, and you're good to go.
Exactly.
Talking about your Aero card experience, and what do you use it for? Because we know you use it to travel.
I do. So you see, because I get so much benefits from my card, I try to make the most of it. So I use it for everything.
Yes.
I use it for groceries, utilities, gas, and once I want to go out and dine out, I use it for that as well. So it's super convenient for me. It's super convenient for what I do. I feel like if I'm able to spend on things that I would spend on anyway and then get points in return, that's a win-win situation.
It's really a win-win situation.
Yes, it's a win-win situation. And the fact that I can also just travel anywhere, anytime, with no blackout dates. Listen, if you know me, you know that this is just perfect for me, all right? So it's definitely something that's convenient to the lifestyle of traveling and convenient to me as well.
Yeah, and traveling, when you actually travel, your points add up quite quickly.
They do. So whenever you're overseas as well, you can use your card. So for example, if you're in the airport, if you're in restaurants, hotels, or anything like that.
Renting a car.
Renting a car.
Yeah.
So you're traveling, and while you're spending on traveling, you're also using your cards and then racking up more points to travel again.
I mean, you actually, the first time you redeemed your points,
Yes.
Shae, was it, how many points?
The first time I redeemed my points was 40,000 points.
40,000 points. Where did you
40,000.
go? What did you do? Tell me about your trip.
But we have to talk about the equivalent in Jamaican dollars as
Yes.
well. So it was 40,000 points, equivalent to about 59,000 Jamaican dollars.
At the time?
At the time.
Yes.
And then I used that to travel. I went from Argentina to Chile, and I didn't have to pay a dime. I was like, just the rewards took care of that trip, and I was like, yes, this is why I signed up. When I
This is
see this
why.
is happening in front of me, I'm like,
Great.
I need to do more of this more often. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So yes, and for you who travel as well, you can attest to that. Yes,
That's
and
true.
for you who use your points as well,
Yeah,
Ricardo.
it's easy, it's convenient, and you don't have to worry about an additional expense just because you paid out. I mean, you paid already, and just because of these fantastic rewards, Scotia is definitely just rewarding you.
It's just rewarding. More. It's rewarding me to travel, to be honest. If we look at it, when we are overseas and when we're using this card, and when we're swiping the card, whether it be an airport or an airline, to book a ticket, you're also getting
or
points
to pay for your bag.
Right. Yeah. You're also getting points for doing all of that.
It's so interesting though, Shae, because when persons consider traveling, whether it is to go and look for a family member or to visit somewhere that they've never been to before, the first thing that we think about is the airline ticket. Right. And then if it is that, you also have to think about your luggage. If it is that you're not just going to carry on, if you're going to pay for a suitcase, you have to also pay for that. You have to pay possibly for a rent a vehicle. You have to pay for where you're going to stay if it is that you're not going to visit a family member. Or if it is that you want to take out the family member, you have a hotel. But what about excursions? What about museums? What about those kind of experiences? You use your travel...
Yeah, man. Yes, man.
The Aero card for that?
Yes, absolutely. So when you think about, all right, when you do travel, it's so interesting because most places, like, for example, historical sites, museums, when you're on the outdoor exploring, they actually want to accept, they want to card more than cash. They don't want, so card is more convenient. And, you know, when you're also abroad, you don't have to think about, you know, traveling with these large sums of cash because you can just go ahead and swipe that Aero card anywhere you go.
And you still earn your Scotia points right there.
And you're still earning your points, which makes it super convenient to travel.
And you can also use your Aero MasterCard for a lot of things. I heard that you recently used it for, was it a visa application? Tell me about that.
I did. And, you know, as I mentioned it earlier, when I was in Saudi Arabia, I landed in Saudi Arabia, and I got to the airport. I had to pay for a visa on arrival, and just to show you how convenient this card is, and just to show you how, you know, where you can use your card. You know, I got to the airport and I had to pay for my visa on arrival. They didn't accept cash, and I was like, okay, that's fine. I got my card. I pulled out my card. I made that transaction. So being in Saudi for like, I don't know, maybe like 15 minutes, my first purchase was on my visa. Was on my Aero card, MasterCard, which was so convenient, and it worked out really well, you know. And while I'm doing this, I'm getting points as well. So listen, win-win situation. Win-win. I love it, and this is why I travel with my Aero card.
This is why you travel with your Aero card. No, I
wanted to ask you, Shae, have you ever used the Aero Platinum card to get cash back?
I've never used it for cashback yet, but hey, Ricardo, listen, now that you're putting it in my mind,
we told you guys that this was the cheat sheet, the 411, the tips, the hints, everything you need to know. So it looks like you have a tip for us, Ricardo.
Go ahead.
Detailed, right?
A small tip. Well, during COVID, we realized that the flights were down. A lot of persons, they weren't traveling. But a lot of customers that they had the points accumulated, and it was just there because they weren't comfortable traveling.
At the time.
So what we did at the time, we reviewed the credit card and saw where we could actually change the miles into actual cashback.
Okay.
And that is now a permanent feature of the card.
It's a permanent feature
of the card
right
now. So that's another option.
Right. So for people who are not, you know, not traveling at the moment, you can still have your Aero card and use it locally for things like these, you know.
And you can still use it every day, just like you, Shae.
Just like every day,
you just want to go to the pharmacy, the gas station, the supermarket,
groceries,
if you just want to go for dinner. Tell us some of the tips, or share with us some of your tips, how you manage your Aero MasterCard, Shae.
All right, so, you know, Ricardo, you made mention of it earlier, that it's super important that we stay within budget.
Yes.
Listen, it doesn't matter where I am around the world, I go there with a figure in mind that, hey, I'm not going to spend more than this, because, you know, it's super important to know what you can spend and what you want to spend. So that's number one, you stay within budget. Number two, we are looking at the statements. I need to make sure that whatever I'm charging on my card is what's on the statement, you know. And we made mention of this earlier as well, that, you know, it's important that we stay above the due dates as well, you know. So if it's due at a certain time, just make sure that you're sending in your payments before that. We want to avoid that late fee, you know, the interest rate. We don't want that, Ricardo. We don't want that, you know. So definitely these are like my top things that I do whenever I manage my card, whenever I'm, you know, having the card, this is what I do to make sure, you know, I'm in good standing and, you know, to have good credit history as well.
Good credit history, Shae. I don't know if we have time for any more questions. Let's see if we do. Yes, we have time. Okay, so with the gold card, I have 15,000 points. How do I redeem it?
Okay, so I believe that one is for me.
Yes, that one is for you.
Yeah, gold.
With the gold card, it is actually on the credit card. What happens is in November, the end of November, we usually just put everything back on the card. So even if you don't have a balance on the card, it would go back on the card as a credit.
Okay.
So we just use it and it would cut from the card until you reach your actual limit.
Okay, all right, okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, pretty cool. Any other questions? I think we have some. Okay, from IG, that's Bossman Gray on Instagram says, if I make only minimum payments, is my card in good standing? That's actually a good question
Yeah.
because even though we always encourage you to pay your credit card off in full after your 30-day period, if it is that for whatever reason I make a minimum payment, would my card still be, or my credit score still be in good standing?
It definitely will,
Okay.
and we recommend actually making the payment. Try as much as possible to make that minimum payment. It contributes to a positive credit score. So once the due date is coming up, you have the two options: making the minimum payment or clearing the full statement balance.
Okay.
If in the event you can't do the latter, then always ensure that you pay the minimum amount.
The minimum amount.
Which is 5%.
Which
by
is the
the way.
5% of the bill.
Statement
of
balance.
the statement balance.
Correct.
All right, I think I have a question for Shae. How soon after getting my Aero card could I get a trip? Or you can plan a trip?
All right, I can answer this one. So it's usually whenever you have enough points. You know, whenever you have enough points, you're able to take the trip that you want to. So for example, from Kingston to about New York City is about 20,000 points.
Okay.
So whenever you've racked up that amount of points, then you can just go ahead and just book your ticket and you're airborne after that.
Okay, and that's using your rewards.
Right.
Your Scotia points or your Scotia rewards after you've racked up a certain amount,
Right.
depending on where you want to go.
Definitely.
And I'm sure it can contribute as well. So if it can pay for some,
Yeah, man, you
okay,
can.
so you can pay for some and then pay for
Pay the
Pay the difference and
you
then-
can pay
right,
the difference.
right.
Okay, so that's after you've racked up some rewards. But if it is that you just get your Aero card today and you want to go,
Listen, we
book
can make a
flight
big
tomorrow,
purchase, you know, we can make a big purchase.
and I just buy a ticket to Dubai. I don't know, you're all right, you're outside.
Right.
I sure say you're gonna get some nice rewards for that ticket too.
Cute.
I'm just saying, no,
So, yes,
Ricardo. Don't say less. All right, I have one more question. Can I buy Aero points?
Yes, you can.
Okay.
You actually can purchase Aero points, and it actually works out better than actually purchasing the plane ticket. So that's another thing. You can
So wait, so
purchase
Ricardo,
Aero
hold on,
points.
break this down for us.
Yeah,
break
like,
this
yeah.
down.
Tell me
Tell
about
us.
this one,
I
because
mean-
right now I think I need to go check out how
Right?
that works.
Whoa,
Before,
yes,
no.
I mean, it would be the same procedure. You just call the call center, ask to talk to the Aero Platinum team, let them know how much you're interested in and how
Okay.
where you want to go.
Right.
Okay.
And then depending on how much points you already have, you just let them know the difference, and that will be a cost. Yeah.
All right.
So it can
Another
be done.
tip.
Yeah, that's what this is about, you know.
Right,
Just
right.
giving the 411 the full cheat sheet on
The full
credit cards.
cheat sheet.
and
Well,
how
I
to
am
make it
going to
work
have
for
to
you.
call the center and find out about these points. I have another question. They have 15,000 points on their gold card.
Yes.
How do they redeem it?
Well, the 15,000 points on the gold card. So here's the thing with that. While as the months go by, you'll see the points being accumulated on the statement. You cannot access that until the end of the year. As I said, the November, it is paid on the gold card November of every year.
Okay.
So even though you see the points being accumulated on the gold card, it's not a case where we can just be in July and you want the points right now.
Okay.
It is credited in November.
In November.
Okay.
In November.
Okay, and in terms of the conversion, 15,000 or let's do 10,000 points. 10,000 points on a gold card. In terms of your conversion, could you give us an idea?
It usually is similar. Whatever points you see there, because that's how it is calculated.
Okay.
It's 4% of whatever purchase that you make.
Okay.
So yeah, that's
Okay,
just
and then
an
that
idea.
that would give you an idea as to how much points you'd get after each purchase as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I unfortunately, our time is up. Viewers, I am so sorry. Ricardo, Shae, thank you so much for joining us this
problem.
evening. It was an absolute pleasure speaking with
was.
both of you.
Yes.
It was.
Yes.
This was such an informative session. I learned so much. I'm sure our viewers learned a lot as well. I didn't even know you could buy Aero points. Like, I need a
Now that we
now that we know, we're on it. But I'm sure, I only hope that you took a lot of these tidbits and hints and tips from our conversation, choosing the right card that is for you and your lifestyle, ensuring that you manage your card really, really, really well as well. Good habits lead to good credit, guys. Don't forget that. Right, so good habits meaning ensure you know when your statement date is gonna be there, when your due date is also coming up as well, your minimum balance as well, and trying your best to always pay off the statement in full. Or I should say credit card balance in full, so that you don't incur any additional expenses, any additional interest and fees and that kind of thing. I should also tell you, as I mentioned, fees, that some of these fees are avoidable. So, the over limit fee, the interest, the extra interest, and, that kind of thing, the late fee as well, guys. Some of these fees are actually avoidable. I did touch on your spending habits and knowing your limit, which is also very, very important. When you manage your credit card, you know your limit, what your limit is, so that you don't go over it, right? When you're close to it, so that you don't go over it as well. Choosing the card that's right for you, and guess what? If you have any additional information, feel free and talk to your banker. Call them. They're more than willing and able to assist you and provide you with all the information that you will need to get the right Scotia MasterCard just for you. All right, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Have a fantastic evening, of course. Remember, it's always about Scotia. Ricardo, Shae, thank you so much once again for joining us. And I know that you guys should look out for Season 5. This is the grand finale of Season 4. But don't worry, we have lots more coming up for you in, the next season of our ScotiaLIVE webinar series. My name is Talia Soares. Have a good evening, everyone. Bye.
My laptop is so slow. Time for a new one. Ooh, rose gold. Okay, I'll use my Scotiabank credit card to buy the laptop and then pay off the balance with a select pay plan. So that's 3 payments of about $400 each. And I don't have to worry about a credit check or a new application. Yeah, that works. All right, select pay. Let's get my laptop payment plan set up on my card. Okay, laptop, 3, 6, or 12 months. That was easy. And I still got points for my purchase. I like this bite-sized payments plan. Visit jm.scotiabank.com for more information.
Turn your big-ticket credit card purchases into bite-sized payments with Scotia Select Pay. Now, you can convert larger purchases into flexible monthly installments that are more manageable at a special low interest rate. Buy now and pay back over 3, 6, 9, or even 12 months. Plus, there are no credit checks required. You can access it easily on the app or on Scotia Online, and you still get credit card rewards. Available on all Scotia credit cards. Scotia Select Pay. That's a bite size you love. Visit us at jm.scotiabank.com to learn more.